Something is happening right now on our planet. The Earth is changing. Not only is the Earth changing, the sun, the moon, our entire solar system is undergoing an alteration.
Completely up. It is broad daylight before the sun even comes up. Another look at that. It is broad daylight and there's a light source out there, but that's not the sun. That is totally not our sun. You know, it shouldn't be broad daylight outside. The whole sky is lit up before the sun even comes up. The sun is what's supposed to be lighting the sky. Why is the sky lit up already? Something is totally freaking wrong. Wrong. You know, it's a nice golden sunset that is the planetary system that's coming in. You know, we have too much going on right here, people. And like I said, the sun ain't even up yet. You can see the sun trying to come up now right here. Now the sun is coming up and the whole sky is orange. And it's an orange sky. You know. Yeah, something is wrong. Definitely wrong. Yeah. And it is a nice sunrise, ain't it?
All of the planets are being affected by an unknown entity. Of course, this is stuff you're not going to hear this on the news, period, end of story. And I will explain very simply why that's going to be. You will hear a little bit about it, like increases in meteors around the Earth, near and coming into, that's happening. The increase in volcanic activity is happening. We have more live volcanic actions than we've had in 100 years.
understand that it doesn't matter if Planet X is coming or not. Every natural disaster on our planet is getting worse. Wait till you see what this winter is going to look like. I can almost guarantee you that records will be broken. Now, there are reports that NASA, the US government, and other governments, such as Russia, have the technology to create a solar simulator, or artificial sun, a fake star. They actually have patents for this, dating years back. So some believe that they have done this or some type of man-made structure in front of the sun to distort and cloak the view of something around the sun, namely Planet X. Another idea is that the sun is being covered up by chemtrails or even a large screen in space and is being replaced by a solar simulator. Now, people are saying that this fake sun doesn't look like the real sun. The color is wrong, it's in the shape of a hexagon, the sun's rays are awkward. They're saying the sun doesn't behave like our real sun, as this fake sun rises and sets in different locations. And they are saying that the sun doesn't feel like the real sun, as this fake sun seems to literally burn your skin on contact. NASA has the patent for this, and the patent explains that the invention is indeed an artificial sun. One of the inventors, George Geyer, and the other Joseph Hall. Now, you know how governments like to weaponize everything, and I'm pretty sure that NASA has patented, constructed, and used this sun simulator. And I know this sounds like another conspiracy theory, but you don't spend money on a patent of something you're not going to build. I don't know what's real anymore, folks, but I do know what these madmen are capable of.
See that? It just went in and out. What in the world is going on? I can't make it do it. That was not my phone. That was the... Whoa. This is freaking crazy, guys. You see what it's doing on my phone? Watch it. Watch my phone. I'm not doing this, okay? I'm gonna hold it still and it'll do it again. Watch. No, it flashed like big time. Oh my gosh, it flashed a couple times. That is crazy. Yeah, if you were looking at the sun when it flashed, you probably are. That's not... Oh my gosh. Oh, I wish it would do it again. That was crazy.
It is the belief that the world will enter into a series of cataclysmic events that will cause major alterations with respect to the way in which humans will live and interact on this planet. Earth changes encompass a broad spectrum that often appears mind-boggling. They include everything that is shown here, in addition to other amazing and frightening phenomena. But they also include social, economical, and political systems which can create their own type of upheaval upon civilization. Here then are some of the most amazing events happening around the world that can be referred to as apocalyptic because of their potential to create catastrophic changes to our planet and to the civilized world. Flooding is having a profound effect on the world. Historic floods are wreaking havoc on the heartland of America as well as in Canada. The effects are absolutely devastating. This is how bad it has gotten.
Continues to swell. Now 27 feet above flood stage, it's damaged nearly 200 homes.
Rivers, creeks, and streams all above flood level from parts of Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana. The levees that protect the city.
Now, what I said, for one thing, was that it would affect the planets. Now, as we look today, all of the planets are being affected by an unknown entity. Of course, this is stuff, you're not going to hear this on the news, period, end of story. And I will explain very simply why that's going to be. You will hear a little bit about it, like increases in meteors around the Earth, near and coming into, that's happening. The increase in volcanic activity is happening. We have more live volcanic actions than we've had in 100 years.
Community pertaining to new discoveries in our solar system. Every few months, we get announcements from NASA and other space organizations that new planets and star systems have been discovered in our backyard. If there is something of significant importance to tell the world, then the disclosure must be slow and precise as a means to get out in front of the story before it becomes too obvious to the watchful eye. For decades, the public has been told that there is nothing out there. There is no Planet X or any other rogue planet that exists in our solar system. That is what they told us, and they made sure that the media reported in the same manner. But everything has changed now. They can no longer control what is happening. As things become more obvious to the public, then the truth can no longer be kept in the dark. So expect more announcements from NASA very soon, as things are really getting serious. They know it, we know it, and time has a way of revealing all things.
Hi, I'm Jim Green, Director of Planetary Science at NASA. You know, NASA works with the international science community to explore our solar system and beyond. We look to unravel the mysteries that intrigue us all as we explore and answer the big questions. Questions like, how did the Earth originate and change over time? How did the solar system begin and evolve? And what will be its destiny? What will be our destiny? Last July 14th, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto, capping a half-century of exploration of our solar system. It piqued our interest about what lies beyond Pluto and what can we learn about ourselves and the origins of our solar system. The idea of a new planet is certainly an exciting one for me as a planetary scientist, and I think for all of us. The January 20th paper in the Astronomical Journal is fueling our interest in planetary exploration and stimulating a healthy debate that's part of the scientific process. I couldn't be more pleased about what's happening. You know, it's all about starting the process that could lead to an exciting result. It is not, however, the detection of a new planet. It's too early to say with certainty that there's a so-called Planet X out there. What we're really seeing is an early prediction based on modeling from limited observations. What's exciting is that, like NASA's journey to Mars or New Horizons flyby of Pluto, you will have a front row seat to see how the scientific process unfolds. Theories like this serve to stimulate ideas and conversation. They tap into our innate curiosity. It's important for us to continue to work, and we will. Anytime we have an interesting idea like this, we always apply Carl Sagan's rules for critical thinking, which include independent confirmation of the facts, looking for alternate explanations, and encouraging scientific debate. If Planet X is out there, we'll find it together. Or we'll determine an alternate explanation for the data that we've received so far. Now, let's go explore.
And that's what we're setting out to do at NASA, Northrop Grumman Corporation, and other places around the country. So this is showing you the glare of how bright a star would be. And ideally, we'd like a way to go to space, and it's what we call direct imaging. We want to, A, get above the blurring effects of Earth's atmosphere, and B, block out that starlight so we could see a planet directly. I'm just actually going to back up and show you that one more time. Our goal is somehow we need to block out that starlight. Now this shows you we can block out the light, and then hopefully we'll be able to see other planets. And I just want you to see that we have this star shade, and the goal would be actually to block out the starlight so we can see the planet directly. And I hope you will all admire this for a moment. It's actually was really used in the desert for testing of a concept we call the star shade. So what the star shade is, its goal is to block out the starlight so that only the planet light will enter the telescope. But I hope you're all wondering why this is such a very special shape. And actually the reason has to do with diffracted light. And this is my only professorial slide here, but I want you to be able to walk away with something that I think you'll find interesting. And that is, if we were to imagine putting up a big circular screen in space, or a big square, and to block out a point source, a star, right behind that screen, we would get what you see on the top right. I think you can see rings. We wouldn't see a point source, the star in the image. We would actually see these rings. They're called airy rings. And what it is the starlight is diffracting around, would be diffracting around the edge of the screen. It's the same as if we used a circular telescope. It's actually just because the waves are bending around the edge and interfering. We give an analogy, it would be like dropping a pebble in a pond, and you see ripples, those water waves. So how can we handle this when the first of those light waves is 100,000 times brighter than the planet we're looking for? Well, the answer is to have a very specially shaped screen. And you can see in the bottom left there a kind of a star-shaped. And the equivalent image you would get with that screen and a point source star is the one on the bottom right. And in this case, the analogy is like dropping a pebble in a pond. When all of a sudden, all around the pebble, it would be so perfectly smooth to 1 part in 10 billion. And all the waves would be pushed away at the very outer edges, going crazy. And that's the basic concept, a special shape to handle diffracted light so that it works to your advantage. So here's the concept of the star shade. A telescope and star shade could launch together with the petals unfurling from a stowed position and a central truss expanding and snapping the petals into place. In fact, that truss has heritage from large radio deployables. These petals have to be manufactured to hundreds of microns, and the star shade itself is tens of meters in diameter and would have to fly tens of thousands of kilometers from the Space Telescope. Right now, NASA is sponsoring a detailed study, and the team members of a team that I chair, they're all out working very hard now to put the exact details together mechanically, thermally, and the heritage story of the star shade. So we're making a lot of progress here.
After 37 years without use, the thrusters on NASA's Voyager 1 successfully fired up for the first time. It's giving new hope to the agency's most versatile spacecraft. Trinity Chavez reports tonight.
40 years ago, 2 Voyagers began their odyssey into space. After 37 years of inactivity, NASA engineers have managed to fire up the backup thrusters of Voyager 1, humanity's farthest and longest-lived spacecraft.
I think none of us knew when we launched 40 years ago that anything would be working for such a wonderful long journey.
Sent into space on September 5th, 1977, Voyager 1 was launched 16 days after its twin, Voyager 2.
And we have liftoff.
The spacecraft was meant to study the outer reaches of the solar system as a part of the Voyager program. And despite its vast distance, it still communicates with NASA to receive routine commands and return.
Communicate with the Voyagers. They send us signals every
data. It transmits in real time on the website. We had a look for ourselves and found that it's moving at more than 56,000 kilometers per hour, some 1,400,000 kilometers through space each. Traveling at the speed of light, the signal took approximately 17 hours to travel from NASA to Voyager 1 in interstellar space. After decades of inactivity, NASA engineers managed to fire up the backup thrusters of the spacecraft. According to NASA, these thrusters fire in tiny pulses or puffs, lasting mere milliseconds to subtly rotate the spacecraft so that its antenna points to our planet. The Voyager team is now able to use 4 backup thrusters that haven't been used since 1980.
On the Voyager spacecraft are slightly over 20 watts, about what your refrigerator light bulb would give off. So when the signal crosses that vast distance to us, the strength of the signal is 1/10 trillionth of a billionth of a watt, the equivalent of 1 divided by 10 with 21 zeros after it.
According to NASA, with the thrusters that are still functioning after decades without use, they will be able to extend the life of the Voyager 1 spacecraft by 2 to 3 years. After 40 years, NASA's twin Voyager spacecrafts are still going strong and still sending home information about the galaxy and beyond.
This extraordinary weather that we have watched now for the last 2 years, which includes freezing when it's not supposed to, floods. People are dying with huge floods in the middle of the United States. All right? So all of these things are happening, and I'm telling you now, the weather that we are used to, the normal weather in the globe, not just the United States, but around the globe, will never be the same again for 1,000 years. Started to change, and it's got nothing to do with too many smokestacks or not because cows are passing gas. It's none of that goofy stuff they introduced telling us about climate this and climate that. There's no question that it's changing, but the point is it's being affected by an external planetary intruder, Planet X or Nibiru or whatever, and we will not in our lifetime or your children's lifetime ever see the weather get back to what we would call normal cycle of seasons.
Of every effort by the elite to dismiss its existence as hearsay and innuendo. There is, of course, a reason why this story does not fade into the sunset, and it has to do with NASA's inability to acknowledge what so many already know, that the Earth's weather and the warming of our planet is not due to man's lack of stewardship in controlling the amount of carbon dioxide that is going into the atmosphere. Rather, it is something much more complex, but just as devastating to our planet. The passage of a brown dwarf star and the accompanying system of planets, one of which is at least 10 times the diameter of Earth, is heating up our Earth's core and warming the Earth.
You have to see it for yourself. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
I thought there was some purpose to all this. How am I supposed to stop the end of the world?
Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. For your mind. You have to see it for yourself.
Your children will be born in a world of 2 suns. They will never know a sky without them. You can tell them that you remember when there was a pitch black sky with no bright star, and people feared the night.